or visit heartdrop.com or see us on amazon.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and freedomslips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Stumbling down the road with Bridgette Lyn Dolgoff as she carries stones, digs holes, and wheels her shovels on her way. This road is the real path. It is never easy and never clear, but always entertaining. This journey has not been a seated event, as Bridgette walks, runs, stumbles, carries, digs, drags, laughs, fights, sings, prays, dances, kicks, screams, and oftentimes falls.
Hey everybody, I hope that the promos are done and my opening of the show has opened. This is Bridgette Lyn Dolgoff, and I am the host of Carrying Stones and Digging Holes at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And I'm waiting for my guests. I think they're running late. So meanwhile, I'm just going to blab on. So you can go to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Hold on one second. Okay, they got their time wrong. So anyway, they're getting up on Skype. Awesome. Okay, so let me just check to see if they're on. But anyway, you can go to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, and you can help us fund our network and keep our network going. If you like all of our shows, we have Schedule A and Schedule B loaded with shows 24/7. If you're not familiar with that, you can go to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, and you can click on either Schedule A or Schedule B, and it'll pop up, and you can scroll through the unlimited amount of radio shows that we bring to you. Everybody at the network volunteers our time, and so, you know, the minimal is just give us some funding. Also, I advertise on our main webpage. We offer advertising these days, and also, you know, heirloom seeds and all kinds of great things that you could probably find benefit out of. Anyway, I come to you at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You can also go there. You can click on the schedule, click on A, scroll down to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can find the bee flying around towards a flower, and you click on that, and there's some information about the show, and also if you want to contact me or not. All right, so we are still, make sure everything is good to go. Let me just get back up here, and I'm going to see if I cannot get Marsha up and going. Okay, hold on one second. Let me try to reconnect her. So today, I have Ralph Ring and Marsha Brown. And I had interviewed them several years ago. Let's see, let me send Marsha a little thing. I'm just going to put on here, just let me know when you are on Skype. And let me get this. And then we'll get you on. Anyway, I found out about Ralph Ring through a friend of mine who lived in Concow outside of Paradise, California. You know, the place that, you know, was an inferno, and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people lost their life that they're not talking about. And she knew Ralph and Marsha Ring. And it turns out that Ralph Ring, he was, let me see if I can get this right. He was, okay, so Tesla had an apprentice who continued some types of the work that he learned from Tesla, but I think mostly towards an, you know, UFO or, you know, vehicles that can be, you know, moved around, kind of air vehicles. And then what happened was that I think Ralph is like, I think he's like mid-80s now. But he was the apprentice to the apprentice of Tesla. And so in the past, when I had TV show, online TV show, I interviewed him. I may have interviewed him twice, but that's way back in the day. And you can go to my YouTube channel, Consciousness of Economics and Urban Farm Project YouTube channel, and you can find those interviews that we had in the past. Anyway, it's been years since I've seen Marsha and Ralph in person. And so I asked them if they wanted to be on my show so that they could, you know, talk to the public about what happened to them during the Paradise Fire. And I haven't talked to them verbally since the Paradise Fire, but I think basically it's like other friends of mine who were there. They woke up, they saw flames, you know, they ran out with whatever they could grab to their car and then ran for their life. But now they're doing really good. They're in Arizona, and they just bought another place, and their forever home is what Marsha's calling it. So they wanted to, you know, come on. It'd be a really good time when they just got, you know, moved in and everything's good and the stress is off. So we're going to talk to them. We'll just see what they want to talk about. Also, I'd really like to talk to Marsha. Marsha has to be one of the best manifestors that I've ever met, hands down. She can decide on something, say luggage, and have, you know, 10 people call her to see if she needs luggage. She needs a refrigerator, you know, one appears as hand delivered, and, you know, the people didn't even know that she wanted it. So Marsha has this amazing power of manifestation. So and we'll get to talk to them as soon as they get it. Oh, we are on. So let me see here. Hold on. Might be a little bit of hold on, I'm just telling her that I don't see her on her page, on a certain page that we had set up. So let's see what's going to happen. And then let me just try to ring her again. Hold on, we've got something coming up. Oh yeah. Anyway, technology, right? And who knows? I mean, there could be some stuff on their end that's keeping them. Okay. Hold on. They want me to go to Ralph's Skype. So I'm going to have to actually go in here and see if I can't. Let's see. There's a telephone. Trying to figure out which one it may be. And I have no idea. So let's see. Yeah, I have, let me write on here. So we'll see, because that's not the one we set up for them to be on the show with. So, hold on a second. Let me just, hold on a second. All right. When you're producing your own show, you have to, like, do all these different things to get people on. And let me see if they'll shift back to Marsha's and get it up and going, because that's the one we set up for the Skype show and not Ralph's. And there are like 3 Ralphs. Okay, here they go. Okay. I think I might have that problem. They're moving over to Marsha's, and then she'll be able to sign in, and then we'll be able to get her on. It's all good. When you're their age, you give them some time, and you give them some space. Excuse me. All right, so lots of stuff changing out there in the world. I've been seeing a lot of different stuff. I am doing a summer program for wildcrafting plant medicines, which is very exciting. And so I've been out trumping all kinds of things. And this month I'm working on tinctures, and so I have to put together like the almighty, tincture to take it in, and as my homework for this section. So I had quite an interesting journey with mullein. And I've used mullein in the past and collected the leaves for smoking and for respiratory and asthma type stuff. Super awesome medicine. I recommend it in my private practice to people. And I also do, just so you guys know, I do online practice now. And, can't get physically worked on, but you can have some energy work, and you can also have nutritional counseling and general health care counseling. And also, work through some of those issues, right? And to get yourself back on health. Okay, I'm still waiting for them to come up. Let me just see if I can add her. But anyway, I'm putting all those school videos, because the videos are also going to be part of my large project that I'm doing for the end to get my little herby credential. And so I'm putting those videos up on Conscious of Economics and Urban Farm Project YouTube channel. So if you want to go out there and check out the great adventures of Bridgette tromping through and following the message from the herbs and all of that, you can go ahead and check those out. So I'm just waiting. We're calling again and see if they'll pick up an answer. And says they're unavailable. Okay. Oop, let me just write this here. Okay, now let's see. I'm talking to them on Facebook Messenger, by the way. So I have my tablet open, and then I have my computer. And because I don't have Facebook Messenger on my computer, so I keep a lot of the super tainted technology on my tablet and off of my computer. All right, so anyway, she's in the process of communicating, so we're waiting for her to text me a message, and we'll go from there. So yesterday, finally, mullein, let me find it at a place that I really love going to. But it was an interesting journey for 2 days of where it would send me messages that I had to go. And I literally, went up tramp through the, mountains and south of Reno. I don't understand. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see. Hold on. I don't know what they're doing because they sent me something about Gmail. So, come on, guys. Yeah, hold on. Hold on, I'm giving them some technical. Okay. All right, let me see. Okay. So I'm just asking them about her Skype account, and kind of like what's the issue of why they're not signing into that account, that I talked with her the other day on. And, sometimes we just get a little confused, if we've been through a lot of stressful events, post-traumatic stress events. So sometimes you just need a little reminder on how Skype works, and or any other media that you're using. So back to my herbal medicine. So this last month, I was my homework was to make a salve, and it came out unbelievably perfect. I mean, it was so perfect. Like the first time out, it actually shocked me. I shocked myself. But I made a what I call deep pain salve, and it actually has been working. I have some clients that here in Reno, I get all the people who are like in serious pain, have had like long-term illness, autoimmune system disease, chronic injuries. In the past I worked on professional athletes, a lot of them after they retired. That was way back in the day when I was younger. And so I really want to just learn how to make products for my clients, not for mass distribution or mass sell, but so my clients have choices that are outside of, allopathic medicine that damaged and destroyed them. And now nobody will touch them, because they're a liability. So, okay. Hold on, let me see if I can send her a message on this one. Let me just see if she picks it up here. And it could be a little bit of foul play, for sure. I'm asking her what is she signed in as. Okay. Hold on one moment, please. Let me see if I can go back up here. I know she had another one that we had. See, there's a whole bunch of other ones too that I don't even really know. There's just, too many of them now because, I think they make it a lot of bit confusing. Yeah, I do not. Let me. Okay, hold on a second. They are going to try to contact me on Skype through my other Skype name and just see what we can do here. They can't find her account, Marsha Brown Ring. It's kind of interesting, huh? That they've removed it. But, this is the other thing, too, is I was talking to Gord in Canada this morning, and he said last night, all of a sudden, he was on his Skype and it totally disappeared. It closed. And he made, several attempts to try to get it back up. And it wouldn't open, it wouldn't do anything. And maybe, you know, there's a whole bunch of people on Skype that happened to last night. I mean, Marsha could be, you know, one of those people. So I'm just waiting for them to send me a thing. I mean, it used to be easy where you used to look up the person's name and you could find the name. Now, you know, like there are like 3 Ralph Rings on there and you can't tell which one is which. I mean, and then you can't look at the photo either. They don't show you any of that information. So anyway, let's just see what happens here. And then we can go from there. So anyway, the salve that I made last month was pretty amazing. And I used some of my old knowledge with the new knowledge and while crafting. And it really came out super nice. So I've been giving out test samples. Oh, here we go. Okay. Cool. Now, let me see if I can add them. Let me go to here. And okay. Okay. Now let me see what we've got going on. We're moving forward here at high speed. And so let me see if we can get this. Hold on a second. And I just add it to contacts. So now I should be able to go in here and see if I can find. So let's see. Live. Here we go. All right. Let me see if that will bring them on. Okay. Keep your fingers crossed. Let's see what we have. And it's ringing. And it's ringing. And it's ringing. Anyway, so this month I'm making tinctures. And so, hey. Uh-oh, I've got feedback. Are you there? Hello? Marsha? Ralph? Hello? Hello? Are you guys there? It's weird. It's very, very weird. All right, let me try again. Okay. There you go. Are you there? Hello? Marsha? Ralph? I can hear something. Maybe you guys need to turn your microphone on. Do you have a microphone? Because I can hear that I'm connected somewhere, but I don't hear you. Are you there? Hello? Hello? We can't hear you. I can't hear you. I don't know. Maybe my listeners can hear you, but I can't hear you. I can't hear you at all. So do you want to try to see what your microphone settings are on? Oh, they just muted their microphone. All right. And then let's see. Okay. All right. So, okay. Well, you're on Skype. Your microphone is on. But what about your computer? Is there something on mute or something that you're using? It's so weird. It's acting so weird. So I still can't hear you, but I can hear sound in the background. Oops. Hey, one of my Skype chat people who's probably listening are probably going to tell me something about what's going on. It's kind of interesting why that is not working. It's probably because it didn't get set up yesterday. So usually anytime that, like things change at the last minute, to get on the show or whatever else, it usually just falls apart and just can't really ever get the guest on. Because for whatever reason, Skype or the studio or whatever, Skype and the studio or whatever, just probably Skype, just has a bad attitude and tries to block everything. So anyway, Lenny is typing me a long message. Let's see. All right. Anyway, all right. So let me try and call them again. I'm not sure why their stuff is not working. But let me go back here. So anyway, let me just, okay. Okay. So, I'm just writing here, someone. Okay, so must be on their side. They say they can hear me clearly. Okay, so. Okay, so anyway, I just said something on your side with microphone. They said they can hear me clearly when I call. So hold on, let's try and call them again and see what happens. All right, let's try it again. And see what happens. Yep. Okay. Let's see. It's ringing. It's ringing. It's ringing. Let's see if it'll get them on this time. And so we're just going to have to jam through this, I guess. Okay. Okay, so now it's doing something really weird. Now it's saying they're unavailable. So hold on a second. It says Ralph is trying to get I can just see them on the other side. I just said, no worries. We'll just keep waiting. So anyway, so last couple of days I've been like chasing the Mullen all over. It's been sending me images. I've been running all over the place. It's just been, Mullen took me, cleared south all over the mountains. And so I spent probably like about 8 hours, hiking between the last 2 days, kind of a thing. And so I'm a little tired today, but I did finally, at the end of this long 2-day journey, Mullen finally surrendered itself to me. So, but it was interesting, I think it's more than a teacher. I think it's like a future forecaster as well. Because it took me all these different places to see where there's like a huge, area of, horsetail, which I didn't know existed. Took me to another area where I hiked this whole other area that I'd never even seen before. And it led me, back to somewhere where I had been before. And through that process, it wanted me to see where all the giant, wild yarrow patches are, which is great because these are both, herbs that I'm going to be definitely using in June as soon as they're, ready. But it was interesting that just an interesting, experience with Mullen and where it wanted to take me and, what it wanted to do and what it wanted to show me. So I kind of look at it, kind of as, more future forecasting kind of stuff that it knew and it needed to show me before, it was easy to find. Okay, let's try to call them again and see what happens. At least now there's like a green light on. Their light is on. So let's see what we've got going on. Let's see what will happen. Yep, says calling. We are calling. So now we're just gonna kind of wait to see what happens. And oh wait, hold on 1 second. I've got Marsha over here. Hold on. Let me get the phone. Hey, I'm what's going on with your guys' Skype? Hey, so I'm on the radio show on Skype, through Skype. So can Ralph send me a thing from his Ralph Skype? Because I noticed that you sent me a thing from your Marsha Skype. Can Ralph send me a thing from his Ralph Skype for the Bridgette name?
Yes, we'll do it right now.
Okay, do you want me to re-add that here in Facebook, what that name was?
No, I've got it.
Okay.
I wrote it down.
Yeah, okay, no worries. This happens a lot, it's like, you'd be surprised.
Ralph is going to reboot his computer, and then we'll go right in and try to get it up. We really apologize, Bridgette, for this happening.
No, it's all right. It happens. It just happens. So we're just going to be patient. And usually I don't, reschedule people until after they can't get on for the first hour. So there's 2 hours. So, and so it's not a big deal. We'll just, I'll just blab to the audience about things and until we get you on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bridgette.
Yeah. So, because I know that you guys have a lot to talk about, about recent events and things that have happened.
Yeah, we have. We're still in the midst of it. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can hear you on my tablet.
Okay. Yeah, we've had 5 shelters in the last 2 months, trying to find a place to start another forever home. And finally, in southern Arizona, where we're at in
Green Valley,
Arizona, we found a home and now trying to get it ready to reoperate with this thing. Everything went in the fire. Wow.
Okay, well, good. Well, we just have a lot of stuff to talk about. I haven't seen you guys, I think, since 2015. Yeah, it's been a long time. A lot of us been through a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of you. I'm changing. Tell her I'm changing now. Ask her what she's been.
He's getting back online right now, Bridgette.
Okay.
I have a show to do, so I can let you go if you want.
Yeah, well, just keep talking to me until, we get you guys up on the show. And so people are saying that they can hear you on my tablet through my microphone, but the problem is I don't want to hold my tablet up to my head, for the next hour and a half. So we'll just, we'll get you up on Skype, no problem. So I've just been really busy. Yeah, I'm still doing a lot of healthcare and traditional osteopath work, and still doing a lot of Rudolf Steiner work and farming, and doing radio. And also I'm back into a herbal medicine program this year while crafting herbal medicine. Yeah, so I'm really liking that. I go out and I have to hunt for, the herbs, and then, have to make medicines out of them. So pretty excited. Working with mullein root right now. And I've read a lot of older writings on mullein root. And it turns out that mullein root has been used as cures for Lyme disease. And they call it, they call it the bone aligner. And so people can take it after they get their fractured bone fixed, and it can actually help them to realign that fractured bone completely. And then also it helps with inflammation in the joints and things of that nature. So probably, I mean, a lot of diseases and viruses are inflammatory. So I think mullein root's going to work really well, but it's hard to collect it, and it's hard to chop that root up and get it into the jar and so that it can cure for 2 weeks. So that's kind of like what I've been doing right now.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm so happy you're doing all of that. I just sent away for some water cleansing stones from Russia, and just received that. And then we actually put a reverse osmosis in our home here. But we're working on all of the natural healing kinds of aspects too, as much as we can. You know, with trying to get settled right now, it's
now we can start chatting.
Okay. Ralph has you on. He has you on that.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm gonna, let me call you. Hold on a second. Let me call you and get you connected on the radio show. So hold on 1 second, and let me put on here. I think there was another one. Here we go. Let's see if this one's gonna work. Okay, I'm calling you now on the radio show. So on Skype. I hear it ringing.
Can you hear me?
Yay. Okay, let's close this one down. I'm closing the tablet down. Yeah, I can totally hear you guys now.
All right. I don't know what it was, but that's what it was.
Skype just does really weird stuff. Sometimes there's like no rhyme or reason, but our network uses it, Revolution Radio, in order to get our guests onto the network. So we have to, it is what it is. So we when you're hosting shows, you get used to, things that are not going to go so positive with Skype, no matter what you do.
Yeah, we've noticed that. We've noticed that a lot.
Yeah, the thing is, it's sad as technology is getting worse. I mean, it's getting worse than getting better.
Yeah, we've noticed that.
Oop, I just lost you.
Huh?
Oh, there you are. Okay, good. All right, so everybody, this is Ralph Ring and his partner, Marsha Brown, her co-partner in crime. No, I'm just kidding. Tell our listeners, about what you guys were doing up until the Paradise Fire. I haven't actually, I've, messaged Marsha on Facebook, but I haven't actually talked to you guys in a long time, since when you were having your heart stuff and you went on stem cells, Ralph. And then, you guys can turn off the video.
Turn it off.
Yeah, because that kind of wastes energy, because we're on radio, so you don't need the video. Sometimes it'll slow the audio down too. So you're good. So talk to us about, we lost you again, I think, your voice. Uh-oh, we lost your volume again. Jen.
Okay. Wait a minute. Hello?
Oh, good. You're back.
Yes.
Okay. So talk to our listeners about what has been going on since last time I talked to you or had you on the show was during your stem cell issues with your heart. So can you tell us about kind of like what's been going on, and then maybe lead into the Paradise Fire, what happened there, and where you guys are at now?
Well,
So I don't know why your Skype is dragging.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because it's like cutting out. Hold on a second. 1 second. Okay, so talk to me. Uh-oh. See, I can't hear you, and I don't know why I can't hear you. So weird. Let me call you back. I'm going to hang up, and I'm going to call you back. Let me hang up, and I'll call you back. All right, let me see if I can add them. All right, let's try this again. This is crazy. Super, super, super crazy.
Hello.
There you go. Okay.
Are we all right?
Yeah, I think we're all right now. So hopefully we'll be all right. But anyway, so go ahead and talk to our listeners about what you've been doing since your, heart scare and all that and your healthcare crisis, and then up until the Paradise Fire, and then talk to us about that.
Okay. Well, okay. I'll try to shorten it down and get to the most important part. But I had the open heart.
Oh no.
Dad.
All right, so you guys are cutting out again. What?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see what maybe your Wi-Fi is doing.
Let's see. I see. Wait a minute. I can't hear her now.
Oh yeah, I can hear you. Oh, now I can't hear you. Skype is being a really big turd today. Okay, I'm going to try. You know what? This is what I'm going to do. Let's go back to Facebook real time, and I'll just hold it up to the microphone for the show, and we'll be able to hear you on Messenger call. So I'm going to call you guys, and I'll just call you on Messenger FaceTime. We won't do the video. That way it won't slow it down, but let me just call you on that. So that's what I'm going to do. So hold on one second. Let me get them up on Google or Messenger, and then I'm going to call them. And then we'll just, I'll just hold it up to my head so that we can get like what's going on with them. So hold on one second. Let me just make sure I've got full volume, and then I'm going in. Okay, so I'm disconnecting them from Skype. So I'm disconnecting them from that. Okay, hold on a second. Now I'm calling Marsha, and then I'm going to call her there. Okay, hold on a second. Now I'm calling her. Okay, we have ringing. Okay, hello. Okay, turn your guys' volume up just a little bit so people can hear you, because I'm doing tablet to computer to my show.
That's amazing.
Okay, we're at full volume right now. Can you hear us?
Yep,
okay?
that's great. Okay, so tell us about what's been going on since your heart stuff.
Okay, well, I just seem to be bouncing back and forth from life to death all the time. But this last time I was in recovery. I'd had my heart surgery with a quadruple bypass. I was in recovery and settling back down in our forever house in Paradise. But I don't know why. We're on the phone now. Let me see.
Okay, it's going good now.
I've shut down everything. Huh?
Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you good now.
Oh, you can. Good.
Okay.
Right. So let's see, where was I? I was going through recovery. Just started recovery. Very, very weak. I was told not to lift over 5 pounds and a whole bunch of things. And then, not by our neighbor pounding on the door and saying, "Get out now! It's a fire." We looked out. The sky was just red, just flames, and embers coming down right around our house. Grab our service dog Tate, and we had on our back and get out the door and get in the car as fast as we could. We tried to get out of. We lived in a state of condominium estates, and we tried to get out on the highway, and that was blocked with traffic because everybody was trying to evacuate. And the skies were all red. You could see them. get an opening. Somebody let us get in the line, and oh my God, it took us 5 hours to blow things to down. 5 hours, and in the line, because we've got an electric vehicle, we feel that was in part why we weren't blown up, because the cars around us, they were
Hey, Ralph, can I get you to talk a little bit louder? I mean, I don't know what the heck's going on. I mean, this is kind of like where I'm at right now. It's almost like there's something that's like trying, to not let you guys talk.
I know.
It's like a weird energy that's like trying to block you guys.
Yeah, well, that's always been common, and it's been getting worse for quite some time. I don't know why. I was talking about simple truth. But,
yeah. So now it's. I mean, your guys' volume is so low on the on your side that it's not really coming through that great on my tablet, because I have to put it up to a microphone to get it onto Skype, for the radio show. And people are just typing in that they can like barely, hear you guys. So like when I was talking to you guys before on the Skype Messenger the first time, it was pretty loud, but now it's like it's not very loud.
I really don't know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that it seems like there's like, there's just like forces that are operating in a, crazy way kind of thing.
That's been going on for 50 years, and the only thing that saved me here is just truth. I just hang out with truth, and that seems they want to avoid that, so I keep getting taken out. Of course, this time they took everything, our home and everything in Paradise, and we don't even have a computer set up rightly yet. We just bought a laptop. Use it. I'm sorry. I that is an interference, and I don't know if they just function. We've been told that several times. But
yeah, no. So the interference is like picking up even worse. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me see if I can do one last failed attempt. Okay, so give me your phone number, and I'm going to try to set that up on Skype and call you by phone. So what's your phone number?
I've got a newer phone, so it might be a little better.
Okay.
702.
702.
218. 0079.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can call you from that number. Okay, so I'm going to do two things. I'm going to, let me see if I can get you. That's probably not going to happen. Oh, you know what? Hold on one second. Let's see if I might have that number on here actually. So let me just hold on and see what we have here. Oh, wait. So hold on one second. Let me just see if I can. Sometimes I can get this to work, and sometimes I can't. So let me see here. So let me just write this down. And then, all right, let me see if I can get this phone number up and going. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on one second. All right, so this should, hold on one second. Let me see. Let me just see here. And, okay, so hold on. So it looks like I should be able to pull you up on the show. So hold on a second. Let me just do this. And hold on one second. Okay, let's let's try. Hold on a second. I'm going to try to call you on your phone. Okay, let's see if it goes through. And then you'll be on the show. So let's see if we can do it this way. It's crazy. Is it ringing? Is your phone ringing? Well, I'm calling you. Yeah, so it's talk about like totally, interference, right? It's pretty crazy stuff. Hold on one second. Let me just look at something real quick. And okay, let me hang up from here. Then I'm going to call you on, I'm going to call you real quick. Then we're going to hang up and then I'm going to try to get you on Skype. It says that it's ringing you. It says that it's calling you. So hold on one second. Let me try it again. Hold on. Let's see. So let's do, let's see. Okay. Okay, let's do that and see what happens. Let me just see where it goes. Okay, let me just try to add that. Hold on one second. All right. Oh.
You're listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. And we'll be right back after this message.
Okay, anything going on? Okay,
hello,
we're going to go to
good-looking
commercial. We'll be
people out
back
there
in
at
4
Revolution
minutes.
Radio. This is Mario.
Hold tight.
I invite you to join me Thursdays at 6 o'clock for This, That, and the Other. It's a show about you, it's a show about me, but ultimately it's a show where we try to have a little bit of fun. We discuss important topics, and we do our best to be apolitical. So I invite you, put on your favorite pair of comfy sweats, your smoking jacket, and grab a beverage of your choice, and join me Thursday evenings at 6 o'clock for This, That, and the Other on Revolution Radio.
Enter into a world unseen on Raven Star's Witching Hour. You will encounter eclectic topics from the realm of spirit brought into our matrix of truth. With your host, the Solaris Blue Raven. Solaris will bring you an array of unique guests covering topics from ghostly spirits to amazing anomalies, covert technology, UFOs, and shadowy global events.
And that's right here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, Saturdays, midnight till 2 a.m. Eastern Time. Revolution Radio, where information never sleeps.
Let the magic rise.
From the astral realms to the physical plane, the halls of power to the walls of home, the multiverse to the innerverse, all will be haunted by the ghost in the machine. I am Steve Zerloff, the ghost in the machine. Mondays, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Studio B. Exclusively here on Revolution.Radio.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When your doctor tells you you have bad cholesterol or blockages in the arteries, what do? When diet and exercise is not enough, we try medications and hope for the best. For the last 2 decades, I have been telling people about a natural method to help solve these problems and more. Extendovite can help maintain cardiovascular health and lower blood lipid levels in adults. The 7 herbs in Extendovite are known to work together synergistically to get the results we hope for. There are many testimonials on Extendovite's effect on circulatory-related ailments. Get Extendovite today to start your journey back to a healthier life. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com or see us on Amazon.com.
I am back from commercial, and I am
The opinions
working
expressed on this radio
here we
station,
go.
its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and FreedomSlips.com, its staff, or affiliates.
And
you're listening to Revolution Radio, FreedomSlips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
This is so bizarre. So I just called him on my tablet on Skype to this. Oh, I think we're at the end. Okay, now. All right, we're back. Bridgette Lyn Dolgoff, Conscious of Economics. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Carrying Stones and Digging Holes. Sorry, I'm just kind of having a rough morning. I am trying to get my guests, Ralph Ring and Marsha Brown, on. And so now we were calling them by their phone number. So I had to set that up on Skype. And I called them on the number just a couple seconds ago on break to get them on. And it went through on Skype. And now that I'm trying to hook them up to the network, it's not working at all by that phone number. They're not getting the call. It's not ringing their phone. So Skype must really hate our network these days, and is doing everything they can to operate against us. So this kind of majorly, sucks. Okay, let me try this again. And see what we can do. And yeah, so I just don't know. Oh, here we go. So weird. Let me see if I can add this because it says now it's stuck calling them. So yeah, this is just not a good situation. And now it won't let me. Okay, let me remove call, and then let me try to start all over again. It won't even let me remove the call. It's just behaving very, very badly. Bad. Yeah, shockingly bad. Okay, let me do this. Let me try this. Let me try another approach. And then that'll be it. That'll be all that I can do. All right. All right, let's try this. All right, they may be really being targeted. Specifically because they were in the Paradise Fire. And, they've been... Ralph's one of those people that they don't really want him to talk to anyone about anything. Hey, are you there?
Yeah, yes. Can you hear us?
Yes, I did it. Yeah, you guys are on speakerphone? Thank God.
Yeah, we are. Hey, you did it.
You did it. Bless you.
Yeah. Okay, so go back and tell us. I'm going to make you go back. I know that people are hacking you guys, and I know that I'm probably being hacked, and our network is always hacked because we're Truth Radio, so they don't like us either. And they sure as heck don't like my work either. But do you want to just go back? We have an hour and talk about, so you ended up, you were tired of living and dying because of your heart condition. And
so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we heard a pounding on the door at 8:00 in the morning, and it was our neighbor, and she just said, "You got to get out right now because there's a fire." And we looked out, and everything was inflamed outside in the distance. We could see it coming. So we got out, and there was embers falling in our yard.
That was on November 8th of last year, the fire. Prior to that, Ralph underwent a quadruple heart bypass, on his birthday on September 20th. Yeah. And he wasn't even completely recovered when the fire happened. So now I'll let you continue, Ralph.
Oh, thanks. Well, she filled in the blanks. So anyway, we got in our car and tried to get out of our complex. We lived in a condominium estates, and we tried to get out, and it was just bumper to bumper for miles. People trying to evacuate, but some kind soul let us in, and we got in and stayed in line for 5 hours trying to get out of town, which was only 15 minutes away. Yeah.
The fire actually circled the whole circumference of Paradise. So it was flaming as we left, trying to get down off of the ridge, and it was flaming when we got towards the end of the drive to get down to the ridge. It had completely encircled the whole area, the whole town.
So the firefighters had a hard time controlling the fire around us and trying to break through the ring of fire that was surrounding the town to let people out. There was only one road out of town. Actually, they opened another road. There's 2 roads out, but it took them quite some time to do that. But as we were evacuating, our friend and computer compadre and his wife were also evacuating. They were in their vehicle, but they had a gasoline tank underneath their car. And as soon as they went over the fire and got stuck a little bit, it blew them completely out of the car. They were safe. They landed and got up and started running to get out of there alive. But that's just one of many of those experiences that were happening for people. It was devastating. We have an electric vehicle. We have a Prius, a Toyota hybrid. So, can you still hear me?
I can.
Hello?
I can. Keep going.
Okay. All right. Okay. So anyway, the car, in essence, I'm glad it was that, because Marsha was looking out the windows and the flames were coming up right up the side of the vehicle on both sides. It was just starting to turn into an oven.
The flames were coming out of the pavement underneath the car. Yeah, the ground underneath the ground was so very hot that it was on fire. I have never seen anything like that before.
So she started crying and praying at the same time. I was asking Papa what to do, and all the information I got was step on it. And what was in front of us was a wall of fire, and there were vehicles in line. And I thought, well, stepping on it, I'm going to crash into another vehicle and be caught in the flames. But I tried to counter that request and was told, I said, step on it. So I did. And we got through the wall of fire out to the other side, which was just 12:30 in the afternoon, but it was pitch black. It was just, smoke was just horrendous. And the fumes were bad. We could feel, we could breathe, but not very good. We had our air conditioner cranked up to the top. And we finally got into a line of evacuees, and it took us 5 hours to get out of the danger down into Chico, California, which is it's 12 miles below Paradise. Then the fun began to trying to find a place to stay, because and when you lose everything at one time, you don't believe it. I mean, you just keep reaching for things. You keep, where's my notepad? Where's my information? Where's my phone or whatever? And it's not a welcome feeling that comes back to you. That's the past. Live in the now. So we said, oh, okay, we better find a motel. So we looked. Well, I don't know how many people got out before us, probably quite a few thousand. And they filled up the motels quite fast. And which ones still had vacancies were like $300 just to spend the night. And we were having a hard time with finances at that time. So we said, well, we just get out of town. So we went, where did we go next?
Well, we had our service dog with us also. So one couple that had invited us to come and stay in Orville, but didn't allow dogs in their home at all. So we felt like our service dog is a service dog. He's with us 24/7. So we went on, and one of Ralph's granddaughters called us and said, "I'll find you a motel." So it was towards Roseville that she actually found a motel for that night that we could actually stay at. And then we had a friend that has the Ubuntu Center in Volcano. She contacted us and said, I know you guys have had a disaster there. You're welcome up here at the Ubuntu Center.
In Volcano, California. It was about 100 miles from Paradise or Chico. And so we welcomed the opportunity and headed up there. And it was just a welcome sight to find a bed again that we could use and a place to stay for a while. And while we were there, we kept making phone calls back and forth to the government, FEMA, and the Red Cross, and all those people that were trying to help us. And we were given directions. Well, you're supposed to be down here filling out forms in Chico. And they said, well, we're 100 miles away. It's going to take 3 hours to get there. And you have to fill these forms out if you need help. So we jumped in the car. I mean, I'm metaphoring now because I don't remember all the details. What did you say, Marsha?
Oh, we stayed at Volcano about the first 3 weeks. The government would not let anybody back into the town of Paradise for over a month because they said it was contaminated, the trees were still falling down, and all of that kind of thing. So we stayed in Volcano until Ralph had a cardiologist examination scheduled for his heart, and so we had to go down. And when we got down there after the fire, that it was 3 weeks later, they had a flood in that area, and the flood.
We got caught in the flood.
We got caught in the emergency of the flood, and we thought we were in another emergency line, bumper to bumper, with
water coming up to the bottom of the car and stuff.
Anyway, it's been a trip. But we were 2 hours late to the cardiologist's office, but he did see Ralph and said that he was doing well. But there we were in Chico again, and there was no motels, still nothing, no place to stay. So,
well, the fun part began. We had a friend that lived in Yuba City, which is 45 miles from Chico or Paradise. Had her house was already filled with family. I mean, they had, and they were evacuees too from Paradise because their home was involved in the fire, and they escaped back to another house that they had in
daughter's house
in
Yuba City. Mm-hmm.
Yuba City, and she said, "Well, the house was full. If you don't mind, what they have five dogs, 4 cats, mother, brother, sister, aunts, and there was 13 people or something, and all these animals. Come on over."
It's just amazing how people were opening their hearts and helping each other in a crisis like this. It was a beautiful thing in that respect.
Yeah. So Marsha and I said, "Oh, the blessings are beginning," because we could feel we had to be blessed because things don't happen that way normally if you're not paying attention. So we got there. It was quite uncomfortable at first, so we all rearranged our sleeping habits and so forth. And the daughter gave up her bedroom and went on the back porch or something and made something. But it was uncomfortable for everybody. And so we did stay there for for the night or
I
two.
think we were there 3 nights.
Because we had to go back and forth filling out forms, remember? We had to keep...
And then in the middle of the night, the daughter, who is a nurse at a hospital there in Yuba City, got up and woke her mom up and said, I know where Ralph and Marsha can go. One of the social workers at the hospital wanted to help an elderly couple that was caught in the fire.
Yeah.
So after that, the doors kept opening for us.
Another blessing.
Yeah, even though we lost everything, we were provided for. In shelters, we didn't have to be in the Walmart parking lot in tents. Many people were in
raining.
tents.
Remember, they had rain, and the poor people.
We were so blessed.
Sleeping bags were. They were sleeping on the ground.
Yes.
So it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, our story is one that we were very blessed, and we saw the blessings, and we knew the blessings, and so we kept on, helping anybody we could help, but I think it was like 4 months we had to stay in that area. Because we owned the land that our house was on and that everything burned, and our 2 vehicles, we had to make sure that the land was cleared or was going to be cleared. We set it all up to have it cleared. As
we had to get all the ducks in a row on all the government and cleanup facilities, and then on top of it all, we lost all our bookwork, all our paperwork, in fact, the Tesla files that I was sending we were starting a museum in Colorado, and they wanted what I had for years I never released before. I had handwritten formulas and things with Tesla. I had them already packaged and had the what do you call it? The
DVDs and the copies of the letters and all of the information that we had just received. Ralph had just received during the summer, and with his heart problem and everything, we didn't get it sorted and put in the mail, but he had sorted everything, and it was on his desk to mail, and that all went up. We don't have a copy of any of that. Everything's gone, all of his records from his past, everything.
Yeah, and my credit card and everything.
Things can't be replaced.
No.
Right, and so when they're talking about Tesla, they're not talking about Tesla the car. They're talking about Nikola Tesla. Yeah.
Nikola Tesla,
yeah, and Ralph's work with, I think, Nikola Tesla's apprentice, right? You went on to work with him.
Yes, I work with Otis Carr, he was a protege of Tesla, and
and so you lost all those documents in regards to that.
Yeah, it's almost as though people that don't want truth, and I just have to boldly say what I feel here, because all I was trying to do was enlighten people with the simplicities, the loveliness of life, instead of the horrible idea I have to go to work again today to feed my family. That's not acceptable to us. I mean, we're all equal, and we will all be given all the tools we need to put it in place. But when you have a hierarchy that can interfere with your frequencies and tell you, no, we're the boss, you do as you're told, or you're fired, or you're lost, or we'll take everything. When you get that kind of tyranny going on, it's very upsetting. So, where was I?
Well, that's what we've always. Ralph has stood on those grounds for a long time, and both of us have, and we feel like we cannot be stopped. We thought we were going to be stopped with the fire, but with coming through that fire, we know we still have work to do to help people understand that we're not slaves, and that we do have we have been
sovereignty. The sovereignty of being.
Yes.
The immortal self that we are has the rights to live and let live, and love and be loved, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I know your audience is well aware of this, but that's what we feel, and that's what gets us by. We won't stand strong. What am I trying to say? We will stand strong, but and just trying to get things back.
We had to look at this fire and this whole disaster. And we believe that nothing ever happens by chance. So we have to feel like we were moved out of that area for some reason. We don't know how the fire started. We do think that there was foul play. There's been so many.
Yeah, there's been evidence of foul play, and they've been trying. They put Marsha in the hospital one night. We had a talk scheduled for the Noetic Science group. You know, the astronaut Mitchell, Edgar Mitchell.
Yep. I interviewed the vice president on my show of that foundation, of the Experiencer Foundation that they have.
Yeah. So, well, they invited us to speak at one occasion, and we were getting all ready for it and everything, and all of a sudden I got a phone call on my cell. We had home phones, but they called on my cell, and right away I noticed something funny, because all of the return figures were zeros. I mean, all of the 6 or 8 zeros.
Numbers.
And I said, "Is there somebody there?" Or, hello. And something said, you talk tonight at the risk of your wife and family being in great danger. And I said, well, we're going to talk no matter what. And by that time, it had already hung up. And then I tried to call it back. I tried to trace the call, and no luck. There wasn't any luck at all. Well, I got dressed and ready to go, and Marsha got hit with an attack that, well, put her in the hospital. And so it was interrupting, just like we were interrupted earlier today. And while I was speaking, and I told the audience, I'm sorry, but Marsha's in danger right now, and I might have to, take her to the hospital. I was waiting to hear from her. So anyway, I did get through part of the lecture, and then the situation got severe, and we got some buddies of mine to come with me, and we went over and got Marsha into the hospital. And she was in intensive care for a while, and then they wanted to keep her there, and they said that she's had a tremendous blockage somewhere in her system, and that it would require surgery. And Marsha said, "No, you're not going to." Well, you tell them that part of it.
I didn't feel like the onset of that was just, I started vomiting and I couldn't stop, profusely vomiting. And I thought, I wasn't sick. I was getting ready to go to the lecture. So when the doctor said, there's no way we can do anything here, they tried to do x-rays in the hospital, and they couldn't stop the vomiting for the x-rays. So she says, we need to take you in for surgery. And I said, no, I'm not going to go into surgery. I don't think that there's anything physically wrong with me. And I said, I'd like to go home and rest at home. And she finally told me, okay, you can go home, but you will be back. And when you come back in, there's no doubt, there's no questions, you'll go right into surgery. And I agreed to that. And I still have never been back.
So they let her go.
Right. So they were in a. So this is kind of interesting. Quick story is, I have a friend of mine who, he was MK Ultra. He was in all those kinds of programs and stuff like that. And he was in the military, and he was going through a period where they were trying to stop him from moving forward, doing work and talking about a lot of the stuff. And so they were throwing every possible thing they could at him. And then his wife ends up going in, all of a sudden out of the blue, into surgery, and they said that she had some kind of obstruction, And so during surgery, they basically almost killed her. And because of everything they did to her, she had a massive stroke on the table during the surgery, and she's permanently, disabled. I mean, she survived it, but it was all during that time frame, like sometimes we have to realize like a lot of the medical people are involved in this, like the dentists are involved, and they're all involved in hiding the truth. And sometimes, they're not operating, so glad Marsha didn't go for that surgery, because you don't know what they would have done to her.
I know. I didn't know why that whole thing had happened, but I knew that there was something different. There was an outside influence or something that had caused that. And I just said, no, I'm not going through the surgery. No. But anyway, I never had to go back for that blockage. If it were true, I've never had any problem with it since then. So I really feel like, and that's been years and years ago. So that was probably at least 6 years ago. Anyway, I feel like Ralph has been told so many times and tried to have been stopped so many times. The computer has been taken down just like today.
I've lost
and then if we
almost 100 different computers over it.
If we keep persisting like you did, Bridgette, thank you so much.
Thank you for you being
one way or the other until finally we're able to come through and deliver the message. And I think the audience needs to understand that persistence, when you're sharing the truth, if you persist, it will happen. You will get through somehow.
Get through the smoke screen.
Yeah, I'm a tenacious little booger. Always have been since the day one. My parents, I drove them crazy, so it's probably my best quality is that I never give up. I'll fight to the death.
Well, I really feel like some of us need to do. I mean, we do need it when we're sharing the truth. We need that enabling thing to say, yes, we're going to speak the truth no matter what.
Well, Marsha and I have always stood for and will continue forever a transparency in all functions of life. No secrets anywhere. They can have privacy in anything they want to do, especially people that feel they have to make a living by inventing or producing or something, but not without being transparent about it, just letting all of us, which is a part of all of us, know what the other part of us is doing. And I think that's only fair. So we've always stood for transparency, and the tide is changing fast now, and they're very, very concerned. And you don't burn somebody's hometown down and their home and everything, trying to stop them without realizing that they're still getting the message that we're not going to stop. And the closer they get to us, the less they like it, because all we're talking about is who they are, which is us, in an uncomfortable situation. So why not birth and change?
Well, the thing is like when the Paradise Fires happened, I mean, I kind of found out about, Elizabeth, who we know. I won't mention her last name, but because she, posted some stuff. The same thing happened to her. She woke up, all she could do was get her dogs, and she showed pictures of what she came back to. It was horrific. There was like not one thing left.
I know.
But the other thing too that was really ironic is like, there's all these different levels of like conspiracy, ultimately hiding what's at the bottom. They said that they were using razor weapons to start the fires, and then they were also using signals through cell phones into the smart meters and stuff like that. So they were testing out 5G. and it instantly combusted, people's homes and things like that in areas. And then they also talked about how they wanted to put Feinstein was going to be, her husband got the contract for the start of the high-speed rail, and it was going to be going through that area. But, all in all,
oh yeah,
all in all, I think it was like that. Yeah, I think that area was the perfect storm. And I was listening to, the guy, I forget what his first name is, but his last name is Marzulli. He has all those videos where, L.A. Marzulli. Yeah. Well, his, at the same time that Paradise burned down, he had to flee his home. Everything got burned down. And I started thinking, I wonder how many people who are in the truth movement were in this particular area living and didn't even know it. And so they just targeted that whole area and got rid of them all.
Yeah, there were quite a few very silent and under the radar people living in Paradise, some of which, are above and beyond the normal scams that come and go at will, living there. And in fact, it's long been a post for activity from different dimensions of life. And so I think that comes into the picture, that if they're going to do something that's a threat, let's get rid of all of them at the same time, maybe. I don't know. And maybe none of this is true, but I think it is.
Well, yeah, there's a huge amount. I don't know about Paradise because when I came down to visit you guys and see you guys, but I know that I've spent quite a bit of time up at Elizabeth's house, and we've done some fire ceremony and different kinds of things, healing things up in those areas. But there's definitely some, out of this world activity, and Concal is just right up above Paradise. They're like connected. I mean, I remember I'd be at, nobody would be there, just be me and the dogs, and all of a sudden I'd just see this mist form, and then I'd watch the mist go across, Elizabeth's property, things like that. You think the mist, you go out there because you see the mist and you think, oh, it's just from the morning dew. It's not that kind of mist. It's it looks like it, but it's singular, and it'll float around. And so Elizabeth and I used to talk about how there's just so much spirit activity up there. So, I think maybe it was a perfect storm. There were a lot of reasons for that area getting, wiped out and annihilated.
Yeah, we feel that as well. And it's just it's just a matter of time, though, because the people are beginning to really, really wake up. And here in southern Arizona, in Green Valley, excuse me, people here have been aware of things and changes for a long time, and they've prepared these communities. There's 13 of them that we know of in this vicinity that are all working together, and a lot of them are volunteering their services, so there's no monetary system to interfere with people helping people. And we have what's called a white elephant here. It's a big honey. Tell her about the white elephant.
Well, it's a thrift store, and it's probably it's in a huge big building, like an old Safeway building or something like that. And there's no paid employees. They're all volunteer, and all of the people that go
volunteer.
People here there's many snowbirds that are in this area, and when they leave, they take really good things there, and so people are it's like a Black Friday at Thanksgiving time. Every day there's this huge big crowd of people. The White Elephant's only open from 9 to 12 Monday through Saturday. And there's this big line of people every morning to go into this huge big building. The prices are so reasonable on all of these, and there's a lot of good things there. And all of the proceeds from the White Elephant go back into this community to
the elderly or the kids going, they need a grant for this or that. And all the money goes right back into the community. That's just one of scores that we're finding around here.
The people here, there's different peoples, there's different facilities or services that are helping people without monetary value.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
rent medical supplies here, and all you have to do is sign a paper. You don't have to pay for it, but they call it. They can only rent it for 2 months, I think, and extend it for 1 month, like crutches or wheelchairs or something like that. But
the whole community's like that down there.
It's kind of an amazing thing.
And there's 13 communities, and we're in one of them. This one is the Esperanza Estates, and it's just a beautiful little community. There's no traffic problems. The people are just, God, you just feel like you're with your family again. Everybody's so close in spirit here. It's just wonderful. And
so we feel like because of the fire, we would have never, ever left Paradise ever.
Yeah.
We both loved it so much. And Ralph was raised there as a young boy in the wilderness. So we wouldn't have left there, but it moved us into this direction. We were in 5 separate shelters before we found this place. And each shelter was a blessing. We got to know different people, and people were very good to us. And then we exchanged. At one person, we had a dog sit and children sit for the one lady while she took her children on a vacation, a trade-off, in a nice home. She put us made us a room in her den, and built a little closet for her. I mean, it's just been an amazing trip. It's been, we're not happy that we lost all of the things like from Otis Carr and Nikola Tesla. I mean, those things are priceless, but there must be a reason for that. All of the DVDs that we had from all the different lectures, all of them are gone. Everything's gone. But there's people around, like our pictures, family pictures.
And we're still on YouTube.
Yeah, and people are giving us things.
Yeah. They have a funding or something like that put on our website, Blue Star Enterprise. And my gosh, the money started coming in. And if it hadn't been for that, we wouldn't be where we're at today, because we didn't have enough funds to swing a new place that as nice as we're at right now. We're in a very comfortable situation. And we were led here by our feelings, by our source, by our intuition, if you will, not our thoughts. We didn't want for anything. We just followed what was given to us by references, by invitations, and by deeds. The friends down here invited us to come down, take a look. They even put up money up for the motel here to spend the night. You got to take a look at this place. And it's just 13 communities, all spiritually or life-oriented in many, many different ways that are far outside the present system that is causing harm and difficulties and confusion. It's really a blessing. And another funny side of it is, while we were in Paradise, we always engaged in the garage sales and thrift stores, and the exchanging of energy around the community was going on forever. You could go to somebody's house, and so I saw that in Jane's house last week or whatever. It was a fun thing. But unfortunately, we were collectors, and my God, we can't pass this up. Well, we've run out of room in our little Paradise house, so my garage, which was my workshop and my laboratory, was, according to the Times, available for storage. So we started storing it in there, always saying to ourselves, someday we've got to downsize this stuff. We've got to get rid of it, Marsha. And I think Mother Nature heard us and said, you guys are dragging your feet here. and took us to a same, different, but better place. And that's where we're at now. And it's so wonderful here. The people are outstanding. The people, places, and things here are just, we've only been here in our new home for what, 21 days, 22 days or something like that. And, but everything's falling into place. It just,
I think when you're in a disaster of any sort, and there's many areas of California that have had the fires and disasters, but it's how we handle them. And if we can go forth and know that there's a new day, today's a new day, if we can live it fully. Now, I'm not saying that Ralph and I never got depressed or down in the dumps.
Wait. I have to put this in the word depressed, because this is the way, and if you're interested, audience, you might try it on yourself. What I'm going to give you is a word, and I want you to know how it feels to you to hear the word. It's just one simple word, and we use it all the time. But notice the feeling that you have when I use the word, because I'm going to show you how simple it is to change your consciousness from perception, not by thought, but by perception, feelings. So the word that I'm going to mention is depress. Now I'm going to metaphorically paint a little picture here. There's a person laying on the side of the street in tattered clothing and beard and or whatever. They're really looking kind of depressed, and people walking by, oh God, look, his clothes are dirty, and da da da. It's a negative connotation until you perceive it differently. And the way you do that is with your soul, or your intuitional center, which is the heart working together with the soul, come up with another perception using your real eyes. That the soul is the eyes, the real eyes of the being. The eyes that we see with is just seeing part of the illusion that we're also a part of. So anyway, where was I? Huh?
You're talking about depressed.
Oh, so now take a moment and see how you feel. That's a depressing word. I mean, because everybody knows what depression is. Oh my gosh. But now I'm just going to ask you to slow down and pronounce the word slowly using, I don't know what English version I can use, but you're going to say deep rest. Leave him alone. He's just in a deep rest. He's sick and tired of the system outside. He's gone into his own world to figure it out, and he'll be out when he's darn good and ready. So mind your own business. It's cool. Move on. Then you've separated yourself from feeling sad or not wanted or whatever, and now notice the feeling that you have. And now you can look at the word depressed as a deep rest. Yeah, we all do it all the time. Instead of saying, oh, I'm depressed, I'm just in a deep rest, leave me alone, something like that. Anyway.
Or you could actually add on to decompressing. I'm not depressed, I'm decompressing. Or I'm not depressed, I'm just in deep rest.
Yeah.
Deep rest. That's it. And think about it. When you feel down, many times you want to go into a cave in a deep rest.
Yeah. Meditation.
And it's so appropriate. So instead of being depressed, we're going to get into our inner self and be quiet for a while, and we'll come out when we can deal with this.
Ready, when we feel we've got a way to deal with it. And I learned part of this in Hawaii from a kahuna that told me that word sculpturing, the way what you are given in school, learning the words and so forth, is one thing, but how you use them is another. And if you don't use them with love and intelligence at the same time, you're apt to get into trouble if you don't feel what you're saying. And
one of the other words that Ralph came up with, and is realize.
Yeah, I mentioned that a little bit. when you realize something, you change your perception of it. You look at it. You take somebody to, and we have done this. We've taken somebody to a very beautiful setting, a very beautiful park. There was ducks in the water and trees and everything. And the few people that were with us said, "Oh, this is beautiful." But there was 4 people that said, "Oh God, this would make a heck of a high rise here. I could put a casino in. I can put cement down and build high rise golf courses and stuff." They were looking at it monetarily, not carefully. They were looking at it carelessly. And so it's the way that you use the words. So you realize if you take it deep into your intuition and always ask yourself, there's a movie that it's a wacko movie, but we love it. And Nicolas Cage, we love him too, called Next, N-E-X-T. What exemplifies just exactly what I'm saying. He works from the inside out. Instead of using his brain to think, he uses his intuition to feel where he was going. And he's always just ahead of the bad guys who are trying to get him. It's a very interesting movie. It takes you deep into the consciousness of how we can change things by perception. So I just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah.
So where were we?
Yeah, no, all that's great. I've been going, I finally got into a program, been trying to get into a wildcrafting herbal medicine program since 2004. Something always goes wrong. So this year I finally got into one, and it's so up my alley because, I was a big studier of Rudolf Steiner and, biodynamic certifications and all that other stuff. And so yesterday for 2 days, mullein, I was trying to track down mullein root in all the places where I'd seen it. It was hiding. And it sent me on this crazy journey. I mean, that I had to go through like every emotion possible all over town trying to find it, in all these areas outside. I spent like 8 hours totally hiking through the Sierras. And then finally, it said, that it actually, wanted to have a conversation with me. And it told me that it wants to be, some plants want to be closer to humanity. They want to be able to talk to people and make them well. And and it was funny because mullein kind of joked with me. It said, well, and mullein most of the time will have 2 roots and they look like 2 little legs underneath it. This is what I'm learning. And so it said that, it likes to travel, so it's kind of a little bit of a funny herb because it wants to be around people and, and it wants to travel and all these other things. But it wanted to take and show me one thing I learned about mullein is that it is a forecaster also of the future. This is what I found out about it over the 2 days was that it wanted to take me to show me where there was huge droves of horsetail, which I didn't know about. And then it took me to another huge place where it wasn't, by the way, because I was on the search for mullein. So I was going everywhere it was telling me to go, but it wasn't at any of those locations. And then finally it took me to this place where there was tons of wild yarrow. And I realized that I'm going to be working with those plants in June. And so it took me on a journey to show me where they were at.
Oh, how beautiful. What a beautiful story.
So
yeah,
that I didn't have to dig
perfect.
up in areas where the land needed those plants and there wasn't very much. It wanted to show me where. So it was like forecasting kind of my future of what I'm going to be doing and also kind of opening the door, showing me with the plants that I was probably going to be working with in the near future and leading me to them. And then after I got all of the message of 2 days driving around like a crazy scavenger hunt with no end, then it appears to me and it's all over the place. And then I finally got to dig it up, thank it, bring it home and start my tincture making process from it. So it was interesting.
That is so great.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story.
Yeah, thank you.
If more people would follow their intuition, follow their feelings. God, don't be afraid of love because if you are, you're afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah, and sometimes, sometimes the messages, are not, I always tell people like the road signs are not always clear. Like I do the best I can and I don't have a manual. And the thing is all I can do is just show up. And that's what my biodynamic Harold Hoven, who is amazing, brilliant, who came from, Germany, I believe, and was the biodynamic instructor for 25 years at Rudolf Steiner College in Fair Oaks. But one of the things he always said over and over again is just show up. You get a hit, you got a message, you got a feeling, show up and see what happens.
Be there. Yeah. I love that. That's good.
That's really right on. And it's
be there.
It feels so good.
To be or not to be. And there's your choice.
Yeah, exactly. So because the show is, going to be short, we've got like about 9 more, probably less than 9 minutes. We probably have about 6 or 7 minutes left in the show. I was going to see if you guys wanted to try to come back on again so we could talk more. And I don't know what your schedule looks like, but I was thinking like around July 6th might be good. And then that way, when people hear the recording, they'll be like, oh, July 6th. Okay, so they're going to be on again. And I'll have to tune in. What does July 6th look like for you guys?
That's wide open for us right now. Because,
perfect.
Yeah, that should be perfect.
Oh, good.
We'd be honored.
Yeah, because then we can get you on and make sure everything works. Like actually do a check the day before and maybe do a morning check.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
Better. Yeah.
And then, I'm going to try to find a computer guru down here. We haven't found one yet. And I just picked a laptop up at Walmart. That's what we're operating on. All our computers and everything were gone. So, but I'm going to try and get some more information on security so that we can, don't have to worry.
So you can get back to work. So you guys can get back to work now. You guys need equipment so you can get back to work. Hey, so what's your guys' website? Is there any, so we can tell people where your stuff's at?
Sure. It's www. Blue Star, that's BULR, BLUR, UE, Star, STAR, Blue Star, all one word, Enterprise, all one word, spelled with an S, not a Z, .com. BlueStarEnterprise.com. Wait, let Marsha do this.
So you're laughing at me. I'm sorry. It's funny, but it is Blue Star Enterprise, and we do have almost all of our talks and lectures and information on the website.
And if anybody has any questions, they can reach them to you, and you can shoot them over to us.
I would love to. So also too, are you guys doing any big lecturing events coming up? You guys scheduled to do anything where people might be able to travel to go to those different conventions to see you guys? Are you guys have anything planned?
We've been scheduled, I don't know how many times, to Colorado and Idaho and a lot of places, but we put everything on hold pending our coming back to life because we've had to, everything's gone. So we're trying to we're rebuilding
a new
people,
life.
Places. It's a new world. And we physically know we are not the same Ralph and Marsha we were a month ago or 2 months ago. I mean, it's becoming obvious because everything is changing in a very dynamic and beautiful way for us. So, and we're not settled yet. I'm not even back together. I feel like I'm fragmented, and we've been in 100 different places at the same time, trying to hold a frequency that would enable us to get back to oneness again. So we've had to turn down. We put them on hold. There's Colorado that they want the Paranormal Institutes wants us to talk, and the people that they're putting the Tesla Museum together, they want us to talk, and Idaho, there's so many different things. We've got everything on hold until the spirit of things changes, and we're told, okay, you can talk again now, or whatever.
Right.
Well, Bridgette, it was we were so pleased that you invited us on your show, and thank you so much for bearing with us this morning when we couldn't even get on.
Yeah,
but
you're a real sweetheart. So you always have. So
you brought us back.
You're helping bringing us back.
This is the first
breath of fresh air.
We talked.
Well, I'm so glad. I know that I've had friends in the past who always ask me, well, what happened to Ralph and Marsha in the Paradise Fire? I'm like, I don't know. I have to get them on the show to ask them. But we've got about 1 minute. But we're going to have them back on July 6th. And so we're really excited about that. And we're coming to the conclusion of the show. And we'll make sure and have 2 full hours. And you guys will know more about what you're going to be doing in the new future about that time, I bet. So you can let people know about where you're going to be. And we'll stay in touch by Facebook. And so everybody have a great week. We'll see you next week, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is Carrying Stones and Digging Holes, Bridgette Lyn Dolgoff. And the show's over. Thank you so much, Ralph and Marsha. We'll connect soon.
Blessings.
We love you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for being who you are.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
All right, everybody. That is the end of our show. And it took us a while to get them on, but sometimes you have to hang in there, because sometimes some of us have a little bit more going on than others, and there's energies that make it hard. But like they said, we just got to keep standing up, standing in there, and hanging on and tell the truth. All right, over and out. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Listen to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message. Welcome to Revolution Radio, where you, the listeners, are in charge. Here at Revolution Radio, we present 48 broadcast hours of news and information each and every day. Revolution Radio never sleeps. Revolution Radio is worldwide and borderless information. Revolution Radio is also commercial-free. Revolution Radio is supported 100% by you, the listeners. And that's why we appeal to you to donate and support this station and its expenses. You can support us in many available options like archive subscriptions, our seed pack selections, or even my woodworking store. And we also even have Revolution Radio's swag at the Revolution Radio Zazzle store, which you can get t-shirts, coffee cups, even a baby onesie. Or you can just plain donate to the cause. We cannot continue without your support, and your support is what helps pay the bills. So please, if you wish us to continue, please stop by our station support page and drop a dime on us. Revolution Radio, where information never sleeps. Is your data safe? Do you have the necessary information to assist you in confidently living through just about any survival situation? Is survival and gardening, off-grid living, medical knowledge, or even natural or man-made EMPs on your list of personal concerns? Do you have your documents and your personal information in a safe place in your hands where you know where it is? Well, check out our preloaded EMP-proof thumb drive. Over 3 gigs of survival documents and how-tos, plus the USDA offline food preservation website, and much, much more, including a surprise bonus we just can't tell you about here. With plenty of room left over to store your most important documents. Imagine if a megavirus or a computer failure took out your bank or